Y'all know what they say. The apple don't fall. What they say? The apple don't fall too close to the tree or something like that. I forgot how that saying go. But Richard Lawson and Mathew Knowles reveals Tina's rat ways. Beyonce mama. She get it from her mama. We're going to check this out. Again, appreciate all the love and support with you guys coming over. We ain't going to waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
Tina is the reason why Beyonce and Solange have had issues in the past, because she doesn't even try to hide that she loves Beyonce more than she loves Solange. And you know this feud between the sisters reached an all-time high while Beyonce was working on Renaissance, with an insider who spoke to Media Takeout confirming that there was something going on between the sisters. The insider said, "We all thought it was odd that Solange wasn't part of Beyonce's album. It's the kind of sound that's right up Solange's alley." They also noted that not only was Solange not a part of Bey's project, she didn't send out a single tweet or Instagram post supporting Renaissance. The source also added, "I think it's weird for her not to be out supporting Beyonce. Bey took a chance on her latest album Renaissance, and she actually needed everyone to support it to propel it to being the hit." Note that the insider said that they didn't have any first-hand evidence of a rift between the two, but they did say, "I've heard things about their relationship. I think something is definitely going on between them." Well, word on the street was that the real reason why Solange did not give a shout out to her sister was that she was finally tired of being pushed by Tina to work towards Beyonce's success, yet she never got enough recognition for it. I mean, last year, Beyonce didn't even mention Solange in her Grammy speech, and she literally mentioned everyone else in her family.
I want to thank God for protecting me. Thank you, God. I'd like to thank my Uncle Johnny, who's not here, but he's here in spirit. I'd like to thank my parents, my father, my mother, for loving me and pushing me. I'd like to thank my beautiful husband, my beautiful 3 children who are at home watching. I'd like to thank the queer community for your love and for inventing this genre. God bless you. Thank you so much to the Grammys.
Oh, poor Solange. But honey, if there's another person who has experienced Tina's wrath, it has got to be Richard Lawson. By now, you know that Tina filed for divorce from Richard, and according to court documents, the decision to end their marriage was caused by irreconcilable differences that arose between the parties, which led to the breakdown of the marriage, making it impossible for the parties to live together as husband and wife.
I will say this, when it comes to like music and like siblings and stuff like that, I mean, you have like the Braxtons and stuff like that. There always seem to be one that's going to be more famous than the other. I do remember, the whole incident in the elevator with Jay-Z. So I still don't know the whole truth behind that, but I feel like ever since then, they've been like, it's like we sisters, but you know how you haven't seen a family member in a long time, but once you see them, it felt like you saw them yesterday. I feel like they got that type of relationship.
Now, terms of the settlement revealed that neither party would get spousal support, but Tina was ordered to give Richard a one-time payment of $300,000. In addition, the settlement also had a non-disparagement clause that prohibits either of them from speaking negatively about the other, or the other's children and their spouses. The clause stated, "With respect to the mutual desire to protect the privacy rights of any and all present or future grandchildren of either party, the parties agree that they will not, when asked by any media or person, discuss said grandchildren or future grandchildren, whether verbally or in writing." A lot of people did say that the divorce was not surprising considering how these two behaved in public. Well, according to many people, Tina never really saw Richard as a worthy husband, and that's why she kept Mathew's last name and embarrassed Richard in interviews.
I envisioned the type of man I wanted. I prayed for the type of man I wanted, and I got pretty much that. Is he perfect? Absolutely not. But, he has a lot of the qualities. He has a lot of the qualities that I love, and we're having a really good time, and I'm enjoying life. So there is hope.
Hey, look at that man's face. I was looking at some of the comments. People were like, she looks evil. Yo. I actually forgot that they were together. Just because, you know, she's always been known as Tina Knowles. So I totally forgot that she was remarried.
Women.
So the general assumption has always been that Tina only married Richard because she wanted to get back at Mathew, and once she no longer needed him, she decided to divorce him. As for her first husband, Mathew, they separated in 2009 after it surfaced that Mathew had fathered a love child with Alexandra Wright. Tina then dropped the suit in 2010, only to refile in the following year, stating conflict of personalities, which prevented them from reaching a reasonable reconciliation as the reason. Well, as we know, Mathew was sleeping with a lot of other women other than Alexandra, and things only became messy because she had a baby and went public.
Let me tell you something about taking a picture crying next to a garbage dump. That is the most dramatic thing ever. But I see, even though you're in such a way, you can still get your nails done, did, girl. And Jacoya was pregnant at the same time as Alexandra Wright. And this is all on it's a blurred line as to whether he was actually divorced from Tina or going through divorce. Whatever it is, it's really sloppy. I wonder what Solange says. You know what I mean? Because now that we know a bit about Solange, I wonder whether she windmilled him.
Now, I've heard that the reason why Mathew never acknowledged the kids he had out of wedlock was because Tina prohibited it. Allegedly, Tina is also the one that prohibits Beyonce and Solange from having any relationship with their half-siblings. And other than the child with Alexandra, the other one that is publicly known is Koi by Takoya. Takoya was a dancer at the time that she met Mathew, and she said that Mathew treated her like the love of his life during their affair. But that changed when he learned that she was pregnant with Koi, after which he left her. And just like he did with Alexandra, Mathew denied.
Well, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Hey, my goodness, man. You know who I am? I'm Beyonce's father. That's all it takes. That is all it takes. I can get you an autograph. I can get you a picture. What? That's all it takes. Dang.
At Mathew, and she said that Mathew treated her like the love of his life during their affair. But that changed when he learned that she was pregnant with Koi, after which he left her. And just like he did with Alexandra, Mathew denied the kid was his.
When you told Mathew Knowles that you were pregnant with his child, how did he react?
Very much. Well, you can't get pregnant by me. You know, it can't be my child. Can't deny it once DNA test comes out 99.9% that you are the father.
All the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single...
Sources have said that Tina made sure that the women who were involved with Mathew suffered together with their children. I mean, truth be told, it's not like Mathew was never capable of taking care of his legitimate children. But when he was given the strict instruction to let them suffer, there was absolutely nothing he could do about it. And don't get it twisted. This is not to say that Mathew was a saint. That man is just as, or probably even more evil than Tina. And we have seen it. But the streets were also saying that Tina allowed Mathew to cheat because she was doing the same thing. As a matter of fact, David Lee Brewer, Beyonce's childhood vocal coach, wrote in his tell-all, Beyonce Raising Genius, A Teacher and His Prodigy, about Mathew and an alleged affair between Richard and Tina, saying, quote, turns out he had escalated to stronger drugs and even stranger behaviors. Rumor had it that Coca-Cola had long since stopped satisfying his thirst and had turned to crack. Then he talked about Tina also cheating on Mathew with Richard, adding, quote, I soon discovered that, although unhappily married, Celestine was not suffering by herself. Going over to the main house to retrieve my keyboard one afternoon, I happened upon Celestine kissing a man. I recognized him immediately. Richard Lawson, a famous actor. The startled Celestine had no choice but to introduce me. Talk about awkward. She was supposed to be at her salon. I extended my hand to Richard, telling him how much I admired his work. End quote. Baby, if you thought it's already bad enough, wait until you hear of the things she made former members of Destiny's Child do issue because allegedly Tina was the one behind all those terrible things that were happening to the bandmates. For starters, it has been said that she was the mastermind behind what happened to former Destiny's Child member Farrah Franklin. Y'all remember when Mathew said in a statement shared with MTV that the group had decided to part ways with Farrah after she missed a string of shows? He was like, the bottom line is that Farrah didn't show up for work. I don't care where you work, whether it's a production line or whatever. If you don't show up, you're going to get fired. As a matter of fact, this is something that Mathew said again in a different interview.
Farrah didn't show up, didn't call us, didn't let us know. Then we left Seattle to go to Los Angeles to take a nonstop flight to Sydney, Australia. So we haven't heard from Farrah. We get to LAX. We continue to call her. Finally, she got on the phone. So that part was absolutely correct. And then at that point, she said she quit.
Well, according to Farrah, that is not exactly how things unfolded. And she made sure that she told her side of the story and basically called the entire family a bunch of liars, including Beyonce.
I'm trying to remember how many switches how many people was in the group. That right there, to me, that's when Beyonce look at her best. Either she got on light makeup or none. That right there, that natural look with the braids. But they all evil, man. They all evil. You see right through it. There's been so many stories, man.
Well, according to Farrah, that is not exactly how things unfolded. And she made sure that she told her side of the story and basically called the entire family a bunch of liars, including Beyonce for repeating what her father said.
Well, that's not true. I've never missed a show, ever, or I would have got kicked out the group. You know how much I was getting paid to do a show? And that's the best part of my day. I'm not missing any shows. But when I leave the group, they weren't honest with people and say that I left. They were trying to give themselves more time to clear the air or whatever, but I've never missed a show, ever. And like I said, if I would have missed the group, then they would have kicked me out. So you can't say I'm missing shows if I'm no longer a part of the group anymore. That's a lie. Bold-faced one.
But guess who was in Mathew's ear and Beyonce's ear all that time? Yep, your guess is right. And maybe, just maybe, it's because Tina saw how Mathew was interested in Farrah and she had to go. I mean, Farrah has said before that Mathew did in fact try to get it from her.
Unfortunately, my manager happened to be Beyonce's father. Mathew Knowles, he propositioned me to invite me over to the hotel to meet and speak with him.
Did Mathew try to sleep with you, Farrah?
I haven't met too many people in my life who haven't liked me. I'll just put it like that.
Speaking of Farrah, she is also the one who spilled during an episode of the Wendy Williams Experience that while she was in Destiny's Child, all the other members of Destiny's Child had to tan so that they were significantly darker than Beyonce. Again, Guess who was making them tan so that they could all be significantly darker than Beyonce? Again, you probably guessed it right.
Yeah, that's right. You don't talk about Tina Knowles. Because what she did to Farrah is totally separate from the look that she possesses. Gorgeous woman.
Thank you.
However, I understand that she wanted you to, she was trying to downplay your naturally stunning looks while you were in the group. Did she have you dye your hair, or she wanted you to dye it something other than the stunning black that it is?
Yeah, my hair was red when I was in the group, actually. And I was
brown red, like those Kelly red? What?
My hair was red. Yeah. My hair was red. I look a lot different than when I was in the group.
Damn sure do, because I don't even recognize you.
Yeah.
I know your name, but I don't know you.
This is how I would have looked naturally, but this is the group. That's how they wanted me to look.
What else would they do to ugly you up?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but I mean, I did have to tan a lot.
Tan a lot? Because they wanted Beyonce to be the lightest one?
I mean, Michelle, I, and Kelly tanned sometimes, so.
Wow. And Beyonce wouldn't tan?
Wow.
Not unless we're at a beach.
Honey, I have also seen receipts claiming that Tina would also tell the girls to go out in the sun and get sunbaked, but specifically said that Beyonce should not participate in the sunbaking. And get this, other than making other girls tan so that Beyonce could appear lighter than them, apparently Tina also didn't want to work with the darker girls at all. For those who don't know, Ashley Tamar Davis was once part of Destiny's Child, and a former voice coach is on record saying that Tina did not want to work with her because she was, quote, dark, big, and ugly. At the beginning of the conversation that the coach was having with Ashley, they were reminiscing about the memories from Destiny's Child. She then says that she really didn't know what was going on, but she could feel the energy of her parents and knew something wasn't right. This is when the coach began telling her about how she got kicked out. And when he hesitated, she then asked him to continue to tell her as she really wanted to know. Child, I'm not sure she was ready for what the coach said next about Tina wanting her out.
And Celestine had a color issue. So this is what she said. Coming back to my apartment to tell me that I had made the right decision, she told me that it was just as well. And this is a direct quote. Ashley is talented, but she is so big. She towers over the other girls, and she is too dark and ugly.
Now, something else that has been said about Tina is that she allegedly forced Kelly Rowland to cut her hair because she could not have anyone have anything better than Beyonce. I'm saying allegedly because the pixie was huge back in the day, so it is possible that it was Kelly's idea. But we've had people saying that she was forced to cut her hair by Tina. Well, the pixie did work in Kelly's favor anyway because the look was kind of iconic, and in most interviews, they ask her about the pixie cuts she rocked at the time. A lot of people say that they can't be mad at that because Kelly looked amazing with short hair. But if you consider that she was probably forced to do it with the motive of not outshining Beyonce, then that's something else. You know, these are just some of the things that have been said about Tina being a controlling narcissist. And there are plenty more out there. And allegedly behind the scenes, her ex-husbands have been talking about her rat ways. But what else have I left out? What is it about Tina that just rubs you the wrong way?
Look, man, I always say it's so much that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about. What a lot of these artists, their parents, all that stuff. I don't know. I just feel like it's this dark aura around Beyonce. Same way I feel about the Kardashians. It's just something dark, you know? Like, I don't believe that you get to where you are in the industry just by being talented, you know, which a lot of them are. But like I told y'all, before I start really doing some investigating, I was a huge fan. You know, we went to her damn concert, and when I went there, I was like looking around, I was like, this is really dark. All is red. It just felt really dark. I'll just say that. But I mean, you know, they say the whole witchcraft stuff, and hey, man, like I say, I be trying to just inform myself, but a lot of this stuff be right in our face, man. We just look the other way because we want to dance and party. But comment below, man, what y'all think about all this. Appreciate y'all coming over. Peace out.